Hi everybody, I'm Tanisha and you're here at Tanisha's Locks, and I'm going to be sharing my sister lock journey with you guys. I had videos out a long time ago, probably 4 or 5 years, and I took them down, stopped publishing them, and decided I have a change of heart now. I am not the same person I was then. And so my daughters are always getting on me about sharing my sister lock journey. And so that's what I want to do. I've had locks for 7 years now, a little bit over 7 years. And that's the only thing about this little tie thing that I use. They are wonderful and you may want to use them, but you do have to be careful. They are pipe cleaners that I just cut. You know, if you want them thinner, you can rip them apart, but you can do just about anything with them. But so yes, I've had locks for a little over 7 years now. I have a reverse 4 pattern. I had these re-tightened approximately a little over 2 weeks ago. All right. Now, reason why I'm on here today, though, is to respond to a video that I saw about locks. And the sister was having a problem because her loctician, who is not the current loctician, her previous loctician, or the loctician that installed her locks, did not, according to the YouTuber, give her sister locks. Based on what she said, and I only saw one video, but based on what she said, she determined this primarily due to the number of locks she has, which are under 300 locks. And I'm doing this so that you guys can just see. Again, it's been 7 years, and my hair has grown kind of long, but I have to be honest, I did have some length before I even started with these locks. My hair in various places was about 8 inches, in some places longer. I paid $7.50 for them, and it's been worth every penny. Currently, my regimen is that I get them retightened every 9 to 11 weeks. I would say on average maybe 10 weeks. That's working out for me. However, during my first year, I did that twice, and it didn't work for me. I had some issues with my locks, but now I'm at a point where that works for me, and my hair grows very, very fast. This channel will talk to you about some of the things that I do to keep my locks looking okay, and I don't do much to them, to be honest with you, but there are some natural products that I make, things that you can do right from your house, and there are some ways that I have actually assisted in maintaining these locks to keep them looking a certain way, because with my reverse 4 pattern, my locks were doing all sorts of things in the beginning, and I didn't like the way they were looking from the way I wanted them to look. Now, mind you, I was never a lock lover to begin with. I can talk to you about some of the reasons why I chose locks a little bit later on. So for me, choosing sister locks was desirable because I didn't have to have that fat lock, and it didn't have to look a certain way. I needed a manicured professional look for myself, and then just the way I like to present. And I didn't want anything that was going to make me feel stuck in a certain type of hairstyle. And it also needed to be meticulous and well manicured and clean looking. Those things were really, really important. And when I began researching the locks, I thought, oh my gosh, those are beautiful, and so forth and so on. But to get to the point of this video, and I'll talk to you guys more about this situation with my hair and what I do and all of this way that I kind of maintain the front in between my locking sessions, or my retightenings, and how I've had to maintain my ends. I like open ends. I like my ends to be curly. I don't want them the same consistency as the lock. So all these little different things that I do. But anyway, so the video the lady was talking about, she said she didn't have the number of locks that she wanted. And but she didn't mention anything about the pattern or anything like that. And I understood exactly what she was saying. And I just wanted to add this. when you seek out someone to do your locks, obviously when you're in the beginning of this process, you're going to be learning a lot along the way after you've gotten your installation. And just like anything else in life, once we initially take the step to do something, we don't know as much. We don't have as much information. As we evolve and as we grow into the process of learning more about what we're doing, we learn more. But what I want to say is, if you've done your due diligence and you have someone who's certified and you have developed a rapport with them and you feel like you can communicate with them and you did the test locks and all of that, there's just a couple of things you got to understand. When you get these locks because you like the way Sisterlocks look and you can see the possibilities. But don't get these locks because you like the way they look on someone else. I had a problem the first few years with my locks because I was always looking at other people's hair and I wanted mine to look like theirs. And my hair was not looking anything like that. And even now, with the way my hair is, I still have my little complaints about my hair. And I have people say to me all the time, your hair is beautiful and this and that and this and that. But I see other people's hair and my hair doesn't look like theirs. And I want my hair to look like theirs. But my hair looks like this. So I love my locks. I would never go back. But it's important to remember that locks are living energy. Locks are energy. And so they're constantly morphing and changing. Your hair is not going to look like anybody else's. Not just because their locks will lock differently, but because your unique DNA gives you a certain caliber of hair and a unique hair fingerprint that cannot be replicated. So don't look for that, number one. And number two is when you've, like I said, you've done your due diligence and you've chosen a lock consultant who you trust, have a rapport with, and they have their credentials. You have to understand that when they sit down to do your hair, they're making the best decision that they can make under the circumstances. They're not going to be perfect. They're not going to always tell you what's in their mind as to why they're making the decisions that they're making, because a lot of times they don't think it's necessary. And then too, just like if you had your own business, you don't know what questions an individual may have. When they come to you, they're entrusting you to be a professional. And if you're a decent human being, then you strive to be a professional, right? So I'm saying this to say she didn't have the minimum, what she said is the minimum number of locks, which is 400. Not minimum, I'm sorry. Minimum average. First of all, average is just an average. It's not the median. It's not the mode. It's an average. And so if it's an average, then you can have below that number and you can have, it depends on what the extremes and the outliers were that they actually averaged to get that number. But we all know the reason why we have Sisterlocks is because we want more locks. So I get that. Her hair looks beautiful to me, but in some way she may not have been satisfied. She actually went and got another consultant. So maybe she had some issues to begin with that didn't have anything to do with the number of locks that she had. But to be clear, it sounded like she had a reverse 4 pattern. She had a SisterLock, but she was judging her disappointment based upon what the new consultant told her, which was that she didn't have Sisterlocks. I don't even know if I necessarily agree with that, because if you have the pattern and they look like Sisterlocks and the person used the SisterLock tool, then you probably have Sisterlocks. You really probably have Sisterlocks. And I don't know that you can determine that based upon the number, because that's an individual decision. When they decide to grab a certain amount of hair, they choose your width or the diameter of your lock or whatever it is they do based upon the thickness. They look at your hair shaft, they look at your follicles, I guess, whatever those fancy words are, and they make a choice based upon what you are presenting with. They make the best choice given the circumstances. If you end up with less locks, then that may be because they decided that your hair was the kind of hair you have. Maybe it's fine, maybe it's thin. They want to give you the best foundation and they want your hair to be as strong as possible. Now, today, I believe I have something like 570 something locks. I wanted more than this. I wanted a lot more than this. I wanted some of them smaller. I remember in the beginning, I had a few that were, for example, the ones right here on my sides are the ideal sides. These are the sides that I love. I have some in the center of my head that were not this size initially. Now, I fooled around a lot with some of these, which is why you see the difference in length, because I pick out cotton like a nut, and sometimes I just pull out a hair because it has too much cotton in it, and I will not be walking around with cotton in my hair. So, but anyway, what I'm saying is these have tightened up over the last 2 years, and they look like this now, whereas before I had bubbles, I had all sorts of things. I had what you might call, I don't know, bulging, whatever it is. They just didn't look uniform, and some of them still don't, but I've done a lot of repair, and I've done a lot of stuff on these locks. The other thing I did in the beginning was I had a few up here that were bigger than what I wanted. At the first retightening, I had my Loctician to separate a few for me because I wanted them smaller. I wanted mine smaller. Now, just this last time she did my hair, I'm going to show you what I mean. I had this little baby one that I have been nursing forever. Mind you, I've never lost a lock, not even one. And this has been over 7 years. I was nursing this baby, and she's right up here. And I just, as you grow and your hair does what it does, you'll find you have certain pieces of hair that you want to make a lock out of. So that's what I did with this little thing here. And she had suggested several times that I go ahead and combine. I didn't want to combine. This baby was weak. I probably could have just plucked it out, but I was determined to get her to grow, even though I wasn't doing my castor oil like I needed to every day. Either way, in my last session, she actually combined this one with another one. And it's fine. It's still small. So whatever I was afraid of, it never manifested. I'm happy. I'm satisfied with my hair. I have 2 people that work on my hair. My original Loctician, who does it the majority of the time. She moves, so she's mobile. So she comes to my house to do it. When she's not able to do it, I couldn't get an appointment, I go to another lady whom I love and is wonderful. Both of them have had locks. My current Loctician, took hers out for a while and she has reinstalled them. But they both have locks and their hair is beautiful. But my locks don't look like theirs. And your locks are not going to look like the person who you saw had them, whose hair you really liked. Locks are living things. They change, they morph. These are still changing as we speak. I am now falling more in love with these because they look more uniform. My hair, I feel, took a long time to lock. And I say that because I could still take 1 or 2 of them out now if I wanted. I would lose a lot of hair and it would take me longer because they've gotten longer, but I could still take them out if I wanted to. Not that I would do that. But I say that only to say that be patient with what your hair does. Love your hair. Be happy with it. And just be grateful for the Locticians that come into your life. If somebody messes your hair up and you lose hair, that's one thing. But if they made the best possible decision that they could, looking at your hair type, the quality of your hair, the condition of your hair, and you've seen work that they've done before, know that they approached you with the best possible intentions in mind, and that if you have a little less than the number that you wanted, then there may be a reason for that. And there may also be a possibility that if you find these areas of dissatisfaction early enough on, you can have them go back and maybe split a couple for you, which is what I did. I think she might have split maybe a total of 10 for me. So I end up having more locks. But that's just part of my lock journey. And again, I'm inspired only because of a video that I saw. I thought she was very much on point by saying we entrust ourselves to our Locticians to do the best job that they possibly can with our hair. We do, and that, we're coming to you not really as informed, and we're hoping that you will give us all the possible information that you have. I got really lucky. I got a wonderful Loctician whom I love, and I'm very, very satisfied with, and I hope that you find the same thing or you have the same thing. The initial installation is quite an investment. As I mentioned, I think I told you I paid $750. It was worth every penny of it. My Loctician was a new one, and she knew best because those little ones I wanted, there's someone else that has those very, very, very tiny ones, which were the size I really wanted. And I think maybe her hair is not as healthy as mine, because they were so small, and you can lose hair. So they make these decisions because they know better than we do. But I do have a lot I want to share with you guys, because some of the stuff I hear people saying when they talk about these locks, it doesn't apply to everybody. My journey's been great. I use my own products. I tried a lot of other stuff that didn't work for me. I tried the Talia Wadjet stuff. It helped bring length to my hair that I'm still paying for today. I did some other things that maybe I wish that I hadn't done or listened to necessarily, but it's an individual journey. And you got to remember this. If there's one thing that you remember from this video, I want you to remember this. You know your hair. You know the condition of your hair. You know what your hair can take, what it couldn't take. Those things are not going to vary that much just because you get locks. Yes, these locks will make your hair thicker. Yes, they will give you more volume. Yes, you will look beautiful. Yes, your hair will do things that maybe you couldn't do before. But fundamentally, there are going to be some things that are going to be the same. And when I say that, this is what I mean. I was dyeing my hair every 8 weeks to maybe 2 to 3, 8 weeks is 2 months. Every 2 to 4 months on a regular basis for about 2 years. I took that chance after I had these locks for about maybe 5 years because I knew what my hair could take anyway before I actually got the locks. I used to relax and perm sometimes within weeks of each other, within a week or two. Did it sometimes one time and I paid the price the same day. That was stupid. But I knew what my hair could actually take. So it eventually dried out, so I stopped. I didn't do it again 3 months ago. I decided I'm going to leave it alone. I was doing this red stuff, Vidal Sassoon. But the point I'm making is this. If your hair was thin to begin with, there's going to be some maximization of volume that you're going to get, and there's going to be greater density and some other things. But fundamentally, your hair is what your hair is, and you work with what you have. And it will be expanded, and you will be happier with the locks, but it's not going to totally change everything. Everybody's hair is different. So if your hair is very thin to begin with, your locks may not look like somebody's hair who's thicker. If your hair is fine or you have a certain wave pattern, which is what mine kind of is. It's not fine, but I think I have a pattern that doesn't give me the uniform look that I see that some other sisters have. There's with a loctician that does my hair, her hair literally looks like a mop. It's so beautiful and they're so light. Mine are light too, but they're not like hers. Hers feel like cotton and they look like cotton and they're so uniform and they're so beautiful and I love it. Mine doesn't look like that. I have to accept my hair for what it is. I have to accept it for what it does. Now, I can put a lot more styling stress on my hair, even though I don't always do it. And I don't necessarily pay for it. I noticed my ends were feeling a little dry, and when I would do this, I would get a little breakage, right? And so I decided the last couple months I wasn't going to put the color in it again. All I did was get a little busy with, pulling out the lint and testing the ends of each of my locks. And the last maybe once a week, just put a little bit of jojoba on my ends, and my hair feels more like it did before because it responded just that quickly. So my hair, though, could always take a little bit more. And that's what actually brought me to my lock journey, is because I did henna and dye at the same time or within months of each other. And I lost my hair, and my hair was long at the time, and that I had to cut it and go natural, and that's a whole nother thing. But I have sort of put a lot on my hair over the years because of what my hair could take. My hair typically is probably medium thickness. And so I'm getting ready to stop this video because I'm going to do some others. But I wanted to just make sure I reiterate that your hair is your hair. Love the hair you have. If you have a good loctician or someone that you trusted to do your hair, trust that they did the best that they could do, provided you did your due diligence and you saw some samples of their work and you did the initial trial install of a few locks. Trust that they did the best that they could do with what they were working with. And that if you don't have as many locks as you might have wanted, I don't know if that's enough to say that you don't have Sisterlocks, or if that's enough for you to even allow someone else to tell you that you don't have Sisterlocks. I wouldn't care if I had 1,000 of these, which might be too many to be considered Sisterlocks, or if I had 300. If I paid the money for them, if I went to a certified consultant, if I saw them use the tool and I knew I had a pattern, I'm not going to let any loctician tell me I don't have Sisterlocks. I don't care if she is a loctician, SisterLock consultant herself, and I like her after the investment that I made. I'm not going to let somebody tell me I don't have Sisterlocks. If I saw them use the tool, if their name is on the website, if I know she's a certified consultant, if I've seen some of her work and I know that I have a pattern in my head and these things don't look like dreads or the regular traditional lock. You see, this is one of the ones that I'm talking about. You see, now to me, that's crazy looking. This is one of the ones of my babies that I doctored up. You can see the end. I pulled it off because it had too much cotton and I was just tired of pulling the cotton out. I have to tell you, be careful what you use on your hair. And when they talk about cotton, I covered my hair for, about 4 or 5 years. Well, it's been 5 years while having these locks. I wore my hair covered. I wore a scarf every day. That did not assist me with the cotton. My hair, it just draws a lot of cotton. But what I'm noticing now is the more I have worked on it, the less cotton I see. The color of your hair has something to do with the cotton. And remember, or the lint, remember that the lock itself, part of what helps it to lock is the lint. So the lock itself is going to have some lint in it. But obviously, you don't want to see the lint. So I try to stay on top of that as much as possible. But guys, I hope I didn't ramble too much. I tend to ramble. I have been wearing my hair straight for the last 2 months because my daughters seem to feel like it looks better straight and they like it. I always would wear it curly, but I'm not as creative with it, and I want to be more creative with it. So I feel that if I start doing my channel again, I'll be inspired to do more with my locks and to be more creative and to try different things, which is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to try different things, which is why I'm getting ready to get off here and go kayaking so that I can overcome my fear of water. So you're with Tanisha Ali, Tanisha's Locks, and I hope that you benefited in some way from this. If you did, please send me a comment. Send me a comment, okay? And I hope to hear from you soon. Like, subscribe, comment, or share if you find something that you like. Or if there's something you want me to specifically talk about in terms of my experience with my locks, do that. Thank you.